The Switch 2 has been nearly out for a week and I am having a blast with this console. And while I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart World this past week, I've also been waiting for a lot of accessories from Nintendo to come in. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at all of the official Switch 2 accessories that are made by Nintendo. Now, as a rule of thumb here, I will not be showcasing any accessories that Nintendo sells that are essentially replacements for anything that came with the Switch 2 system. So things like the dock set, the extra Joy-Con controllers, and the straps will not count. I will also not be talking about any of the amiibo figures that were released on the same day as Switch 2 because those deserve a video on its own. With that said, let's showcase the official Switch 2 accessories. We'll first begin with the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller, which costs $85, which is $15 more than the original Switch Pro Controller. Now on the surface, it does look very similar to the original Switch Pro Controller, but it is different in many ways. For example, it has the C button to pull up the game chat menu at any time, GL and GR buttons that you can freely map to any button that you choose in the back, as well as an audio jack for headphones and headsets. But there's also some other features that carry over from the original Switch Pro Controller, such as motion controls, the built-in amiibo functionality, the capture button, as well as the HD rumble technology that has been vastly improved on the Switch 2. But then there are some improvements that you may not notice until you get your hands on the Pro Controller itself, such as the joysticks. They are a lot more smooth this time around and they don't make much noise at all. And while the battery life might be the same as the original Switch Pro Controller at 40 hours, the amount of charging time has been decreased from 6.5 hours to 3.5 hours to full charge. Because of that, you actually get a much more charging efficient battery this time around. I feel like any Switch 2 owner should get the official Switch 2 Pro Controller. Now let's take a look at the Joy-Con 2 charging grip. As the name applies, this grip for the Joy-Con 2 controllers is different than the one that comes included with your Switch 2. For one, it has this Gaussian blurred translucent color on the grip itself compared to the matte black that's on the original grip itself, and you also get a charging port on the top, which is a USB-C port. However, like the Pro Controller, the charging grip actually comes with the remappable GL and GR buttons, meaning that if you don't want to shell out the money for a Pro Controller, you can actually just get the charging grip for $40 and you can just use the Joy-Con 2 controllers to emulate what essentially would be the functionality of the Pro Controller, albeit a lot less comfortable than that. The last of our Joy-Con accessories I want to talk about is the Joy-Con 2 wheel set. Just like the original Switch Joy-Cons, Nintendo made a new set of Joy-Con 2 wheels, specifically for Mario Kart World in mind. You can place your Joy-Con 2 controllers into the wheel to enjoy much more realistic motion controls and a better grip when it comes to racing style games like Mario Kart World. The smooth magnetic connection helps keep your Joy-Con 2 controller secure. The Joy-Con 2 wheels this time actually sports the same color scheme that's on the new Joy-Con 2 controllers. Specifically, it uses the light blue and light red color scheme. Now, I never bought the original Joy-Con wheel set for the original Switch when that came out, and considering that I bought this when I was trying to get my Switch 2 from Best Buy, it felt more like a forced purchase on me, so I'm definitely not going to be using these as much. But for those who prefer motion controls, or for those who have younger members in their family, the wheels are probably a good option. Now let's move on to the official Switch 2 camera. Now this is one accessory that Nintendo is pushing hard as it's compatible with two specific features: game chat and camera play. In game chat, you're able to use the camera when you're video chatting with friends, and when it comes to camera play on certain games like Mario Kart World or the upcoming Switch 2 edition of Super Mario Party Jamboree, you are able to use this camera and place your face inside the game itself in various fun and wacky ways. Now, it's important to note that this camera is a wide-angle 1080p lens that you can freely adjust to any angle that you choose. Plus, the lens has a high-sensitivity image sensor that can adjust the brightness automatically to detect faces, as well as having a built-in privacy shutter. For $55, this camera serves the need for most people, and while you could get away with using any regular USB-C camera on the Switch 2, or using alternatives such as the Hori cameras that I mentioned in my Essential Switch 2 accessories video, I feel like this camera would probably get the job done. Now let's take a look at the GameCube controller. If you're an old school purist who grew up with the GameCube like I did, this one is definitely a must buy. Everything that you loved about the original GameCube controller is here, but more modernized, as it's completely wireless, adds in extra buttons for things such as the capture, home button, as well as the C button for game chat. For $65, this is definitely a must buy, and considering that you can only get it directly from the My Nintendo store if you have an NSO subscription, I would suggest you get one ASAP when they get back in stock, because these will sell out. Now let's take a look at the two carrying cases that Nintendo made for the Switch 2. Beginning with your standard Switch 2 carrying case and screen protector. Now, the official Switch 2 carrying case is sporting an all black design with the light blue and light red zippers that match the Joy-Con 2 controllers themselves. Furthermore, you're also getting a plastic screen protector and microfiber cloth for the screen itself. When it comes to this carrying case itself, you can fit the Switch 2 console on its own, as well as up to 6 game cards and 2 wrist straps. Now, be careful how you put your wrist straps in, because it could make your carrying case bulge out a bit. I would suggest you kind of readjust it to where it's all completely flat, but otherwise, this is a pretty decent carrying case, especially for the price of $40. Now, if you want a bigger carrying case that can support everything for the Switch 2, then the all-in-one carrying case is for you. You can fit a Switch 2 dock, the console itself, Joy-Con 2 controllers, their various HDMI and USB-C cables, a Pro controller, a Joy-Con 2 charging grip or the regular grip, as well as up to 6 game cards. The insert inside the all-in-one carrying case can even pull out, so if you want to organize it to your will, you can. What I like about Nintendo's Switch 2 all-in-one carrying case compared to all of the other all-in-ones that I had for the original Switch is that Nintendo decided to actually add in something that would protect the dock from damage. Specifically, adding that little bump in between where you would insert the dock, meaning that the dock itself will not bend during transit. And the timing of receiving this case is quite well, as I'm off to my first airplane trip with the Switch 2. So that's all of the official Switch 2 accessories made by Nintendo. Hopefully this gives you a better look at all of the official Switch 2 accessories that Nintendo has made, and stay tuned for my next showcase video where we're going to be showcasing all of the amiibo figures and cards that were released on the same day as the Switch 2. So don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you want to see more content like this in the future. And as always, I hope that you enjoyed the Switch 2. Happy gaming, and I'll see you all in the next video.